the power. The math is unfootable. Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get to the chopper! Price go up.
Gigantic fusion reactor that just works.
Multiple income streams and real yield.
Ooh, yeah!
Cheats can no longer dump on your heads. The revolutionary decentralized finance protocol. Fusion reaction in T-minus 3, 2, 1.
Fusion! You don't know the power. The math is unfootable. Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
The mothership. And what's it gonna do? Everybody excited?
Oh, hell yeah.
Give my creation! Fusion.
Get ready to rumble.
Fusion.
Gotta do a huge shout out to Cool Sheet. That song just hits.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the official EMP live stream. We come to you every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. My name is AJ, I'm the team lead here, and I'm joined by my co-host with the most, and fellow team member, LA. LA, how are you?
Good. Hey, everybody. Nice to see you.
Yeah, no doubt. We got a big one tonight, LA. We are officially announcing Plazm. We've been teasing it on the last few AMAs, how to get prepared for it, what to expect. We'll have a lot of Q&A at the end as well, and feeling good tonight. So hopefully we can get through it all, even if it goes a little late, and we can go through all that. So stay tuned. We're going to go over some housekeeping before we get into it, but we'll jump through it all, and we're going to go through the docs. So all right, and then also before we get started, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps the algorithm and helps get the word out to more people, especially with all that we have going on and building right now. It's really good to get people excited about the ecosystem again. And these AMAs are perfect because they can ask everything they want, get to know the protocols, and get excited. So all right, awesome. I think that covers it. Let me go ahead and pull up my notes here. We're going to start off with a little bit of market updates. Unfortunately, we saw some blood in the streets today. Not a good day at all. ETH down, 7%. Bitcoin down. Things are looking a little bleak in the very, very immediate. But as we've said all along, this is simply the volatility to expect going into the real bull run. I mean, it's very common to see 10% losses in a matter of a day or hours even. So honestly, I'm not overly concerned at all. Obviously, it sucks, and we want to see momentum going up and to the right, especially going into the end of the year. But we did need things to cool off a little bit. These sort of resets are great for resetting the RSI and the Fear and Greed Index. So overall, I think that this is still all part of the cycle. and the more and more that we get thrilled, as I still am a big believer in the extended cycle. So obviously ETH under 4K is always a bummer, but I think that these are probably some of the very few times that we see Ethereum under 4K, and Bitcoin under 112, 113, 110. Those are definitely some local bottoms. And as we go into October, November, again, we've always said October. We until that's invalidated, we can hopefully see that happen. And M2 money supply is still going up. Rate cuts are in effect, so there's still a bunch of bullish catalysts for the end of the year. So again, money and millionaires are made on dips. Buy the red and sell the green. It's really hard to do. It goes against your mental assumptions, but that's how you can really kill it. So all right, LA, anything you want to add about that? Again, I know we always hate to see red days, but that's where you can really get one last bite at the apple for sure.
Well, yeah, and definitely when we go into more about the launch for Plazm and everything, you're going to see that it's actually great timing that we can scoop up some cheap ETH right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point for sure. So, all right. So, again, we're gonna go into Plazm. We have a full episode on that today, but I want to just go over a few more things before we get there. Obviously, Fusion. I mean, that is the mothership. We always say everything leads back to EMP Fusion, and even though we are releasing new protocols and new builds, it is all with the intention of supporting Fusion in the long term. And that is why Fusion is so powerful, is that you're getting exposure to everything that we do from here moving forward. And so Plazm will be a standalone product. It is under the EMP umbrella, obviously, and everything that we built. But it does support Fusion indirectly. I mean, again, more so directly, really, because of eShare. So the whole idea is that as we build more use case for eShare, the price of eShare goes up. That directly impacts APR in Fusion without being a siphon. So in other words, rewards are not bled from Plazm. They are amplified by Plazm. So that is a really big difference. And again, what we always try to build for is what I like to say, 1 + 1 = 3 rather than 1 + 1 = 2. So that is why, again, one of the many reasons that we build additional protocols or platforms under the Fusion umbrella. So LA, again, I don't know if you want to add to that, but I think people lose sight of the next shiny thing. Obviously, we've seen peg go down a little bit. People trying to forget the fundamentals. But yeah, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that.
Well, yeah, just that we've already seen eShare go up exponentially with the anticipation of Plazm, and it hasn't even launched yet. And as a result of it, Fusion APRs are majorly on the rise, with eShare prices going up. And so I just wanted to remind you all, and then kind of just reiterate what AJ just said, that eShare emissions are just one of the many revenue streams for Fusion. And so when we've seen eShare going up and it having such positive effects on the APRs of Fusion, imagine what will happen when the other revenue streams are at full force. HVM, more volume on our arbitrage bots, especially for eShare with this new project on Base, bonds, DexSwap, all these other revenue streams. This is just the evidence of one of them, really kicking up and revving up. But when they all start revving up, like it's just game over. So that's why it's so powerful when we add to the mothership in a way that supports the original protocols.
Yeah, great overview, LA. And again, it's never about abandoning anything that we do. All of you know by now that we're one of the only teams in DeFi that doesn't abandon anything. and it's about building on top of to then create, a much better long-term goal. And yeah, we've proven that with everything that we do. Another thing you mentioned, LA, I just want to touch on really quick, was the arbitrage bot. So we finally have the eShare cross-chain Arb Bot up and running. I know a lot of you have been taking advantage of the Arb on your own, which is great. If you see eShare on Base or on BNB slightly cheaper, it's a great way to take advantage of that on your own. But now with our cross-chain Arb Bot, that is also, again, another revenue stream. So it helps give everybody a fair entry into eShare. No matter what chain you're on, you're not getting, taken advantage of with price discrepancies. And we're able to earn from that. So, again, we've had it running now for about a week and a half, and it's already made over thousands of dollars. So, as volume increases, and again, that's the whole point, is that we're creating use case and volume and utility for eShare through Plazm. That will only get better and better. And so, we're doing right now. It's been roughly $10,000 a day in volume on both chains. I mean, we 10x the volume through the buy and burn and all the hype around this. We're talking serious revenue. So just again, literally every possible way we can monetize things, we will. And other than covering dev costs and our every month, the vast majority of that goes to all of you. So when we say we're making money, we mean the protocols are making money, and that, again, like Ella said, is the real revenue that feeds Fusion APR. So over time, it gets better and better as everything comes online, and we continue to just build these funnels that put revenue right into Fusion. So, all right, awesome. I think that's a good overview on Fusion. LA, anything else? You want to move on to bonds?
Yeah, can we talk about bond APRs right now? Like, holy
Yes, we can. Holy cow. Let me pull it up while we go through this. But yeah, we have been crushing it with bonds. So a lot of you have noticed all-time highs in terms of APR for bonds the last 2 weeks. A lot of that has to do with some allocation into some higher yielding pairs. We've been killing it with an Avant, AVNT. Volume has been really high, and so it's been looking really, really good. So the downside is, again, it's always a give and take. Obviously with the ETH price going down and all of the alts that we're exposed to, principal has gone down over the last week as well. But again, that is the price that we pay for yield farming, and all of that is short term. So as quickly as it goes down, principal can go back up. So you have full exposure to the principal, whether it's ETH or any of the other assets that we're exposed to, and you're earning APR along the way. So let me go and pull up the bonds, and we'll go over it. But yeah,
And these are the ultimate moments to scoop up more bonds because the price is cheaper per bond.
Yeah, absolutely. And this APR is real APR at the time of minting. So to LA, like LA just mentioned, we're looking really, really good on DCAing into bonds as well. So 166%. Obviously, it is variable, and it goes down, it goes up, but right now bonds are at about $160 each, which is low. I mean, that's probably the lowest bonds have been in terms of price, which means buying now or compounding on the way down has a much better effect on the way up. And again, as soon as ETH recovers and a lot of the alts that we're exposed to recovers, that number goes up really quickly. And again, all the while you're getting APR, and that's the other thing. Like, even if we, we're very confident that we can maintain around 100% APR. We said between 70 to 100% APR over the year. And there is no situation, no matter how much of permanent loss, where the bond value would go to zero. And, if you're in it for 6 months to a year, you're almost doubling your principal on the yield alone, regardless of, the base price. So just remember that again. We don't want to ever encourage people to compound if they don't want to, but because this is real yield and no, Ponzonomics and no inflation, when you do compound, you are buying real assets at the lows. So, those that have been compounding more than claiming are having a higher P&L right now than those that just were withdrawing. And if you don't like that your principal balance keeps going down, um, you're more than welcome to just use the APR to stack ETH back up. So just buy ETH and hold. So again, there's many, many ways to uh, profit and to do what feels right for you individually as you go. So this is really cool, and this will be the backbone of Plazm. So we talked about it a little bit on the last AMA, but all the ETH that goes into Plazm will be put into bonds. So doing a perpetual buy and burn, which we'll talk about here in a second. But that should dramatically increase the TVL in bonds as well. So I'm excited for that. Which again is another way, like we said earlier, we're building things that actually have a positive feedback loop within the ecosystem. So now, not only is Plazm helping eShare and bringing up APR in Fusion, but it's also now juicing all the TVL in bonds. So it's a win-win-win-win-win for everybody. So, all right. So yeah, anything you want to go over with bonds while I have it up, LA?
I do want to just mention also that along with bond rewards being huge, the payouts to the compensation fund, especially the last 2 weeks, have been absolutely massive, which is great news in a number of ways. One, because those who lost out in the hack are getting access to a lot more of their funds every week, which means that you have the ability to have that dry powder to go into bonds, to go into Plazm, to put into Fusion, to pay your bills, whatever you want to do with it. But the great thing for everyone in Fusion is that the sooner that gets paid off, the sooner a lot of those weekly rewards are going right to Fusion. And so when we see 2 weeks like we just have where massive chunks of the debt get repaid, like that's huge for us because that means we are sooner and sooner to skyrocketed rewards inside Fusion.
Yeah, absolutely, LA. And again, it even goes further than that because once all the debt is paid off, we have a lot more flexibility with the APR as well. So like again, I'm happy that we can move some things around to pay higher APR in bonds and in Fusion because we don't have this outstanding debt. Obviously, that's our number one priority, and we've been making major headway on it. So yeah, again, I've said it all along, but we're already way ahead of schedule on what I was thinking we would be able to do. And remember, it again is this 1+1 = 3 because the more TVL and bonds, the even quicker that happens. So with Plazm coming, we get another $1 million, 2 million, who knows, 10 million in bonds. Now that debt is paid off in literally a matter of a month. So we're not talking 2 years to pay debt like other protocols do. You're lucky if you get your principal back. We have a real yield system that is killing it in a very short amount of time. So awesome. All right. Anything else on this, LA?
Nope.
All right, let's go ahead and go over to the notes here. All right, sorry about that. You there? LA, can you hear me? So yeah, all right. I'm still traveling here and trying to do this. Okay, here we go. Up next is was that it with bonds and the compensation fund? LA, can we jump
Yep.
into Plazm now?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's jump in.
All right, awesome. So let me go ahead and pull up the docs. Bear with me here. All right, let me see. Sorry about that, guys. Here we go. All right. Man, I am the worst streamer in LA. All right, hang on. Let me do the screen share one more time here. All right, hopefully you guys can see that. Let me pull this. All right, here we go, finally. So here it is. This is our official docs, docs.plazm.io. We will be releasing the official website. I did do a deep dive as well with DeFi After Party. We looked at the preliminary stages of the website. I just posted that video in all of our socials. And then obviously tonight we'll go over the same sort of stuff as well. But that's a great video if you guys want another deep dive on all this as we prepare. We're hopefully going to be ready tomorrow. I think we may need one more day, but it will be this weekend for sure. Not another week, barring any issues. We did get everything audited as well. Audits came back clean, so we're in the final stages. One thing I did want to preface before we get started is this is all in hopes of preparing you, but don't get FOMO, because the way this protocol works is you don't really have to be ready and glued to your computer on minute one or second one. It's not really about aping into the token. It's about utilizing the system to actually create the token over the long run, and it's a lot less risky doing it that way. And a lot less stressful doing it that way. So what we're going to go over tonight is, a way that, in my opinion, is the easiest and safest way to participate. And then if you want to do, some short-term stakes or try to, flip the token, I mean, all of those are very high risk, and you can wreck yourself really easily. But to each their own, for sure. So, all right, LA, I don't know. Let's start with just the high level overview. Do you want to read this real quick? We'll go over what Plazm is, why, and the difference, and then I'll elaborate on everything else.
Okay, so Plazm is a real yield system on Base that fuses the best innovations in DeFi into one streamlined process for growing your portfolio with minimal effort. While its mechanics under the hood operate like a finely tuned electrical grid, the user experience remains very simple, intuitive, and optimized for consistent growth in any market condition. In bullish times, users can generate Plazm to amplify their holdings quickly, collecting both their created amount and bonus emissions from the Plazm pool. In bearish times, users can stake their existing Plazm to keep the current flowing and continue building their portfolio from the same renewable reward circuit.
Perfect. So again, as we do with everything has very highly themed. Obviously, we have a very electrical influence with EMP and everything else. So, but what does this mean at a high level? So Plazm is what we call a daily creation protocol. So a lot of you may be familiar with TitanX, DragonX, Unity, Taurus, even some of the old school ones like Hex or Wise even, where you're essentially minting the supply of the token through a daily auction lobby. And that is a daily creation protocol in a nutshell, and it's a way to basically create the token supply through the system. So rather than just launching a token and having the whole supply of the token available on day one, minute one, and then the only way to profit is buying it and hoping you can sell it for a higher price. This is a much different system. So it's non-inflationary, meaning Plazm will have a fixed supply, which we can talk about here in a minute. And then every day you basically submit ETH or eSHARE to then get Plazm. And why you would want to exchange your ETH or eSHARE for Plazm is a buy and burn. So all of the economic energy that goes into the protocol is then put into what's called a buy and burn. And a buy and burn typically is a treasury that buys and burns the token every single day. However, as we've seen with every other protocol, the buy and burn is just basically a wallet that goes down forever, because no matter how many new creations there are that refill it, the buy and burn usually depletes faster than new creations can refill it. And then you get into this dilemma where the buy and burn goes to zero, or the buy and burn is paused, which has been another band-aid, so to speak, on speculating that one day the buy and burn will come back on and create this buy pressure without meeting new users. So what we have done is taken all of these mechanisms, created a better economic system. We have forked Unity and Taurus, which inherently has a better system anyway, through both creations and staking being coming from the same pool, which again I'll talk about in a second. But the big difference is every single bit of ETH that is used to create Plazm, it goes into bonds. And so why that is so revolutionary is we're able to create buying pressure on Plazm indefinitely and sustainably. So just to put numbers behind that, if we get $1 million of ETH deposited to create Plazm within the first 77 days, that's roughly $5,000 a day of buying and burning Plazm without ever depleting the treasury or the buy and burn itself. So that is nobody's ever done that. It's a big fundamental difference. Other protocols have tried to do it. Funny enough, DripX tried to do this, a fork of Drip, but they were utilizing V2 rewards to pay yield. And so now that we have bonds, we have just an incredibly powerful system to create a real yield that doesn't require new users to participate in the ecosystem. So again, this is something I'm really bullish on. We approached many different builders to have them do this on their own, and nobody did it. And so it's too good of a product and an idea that we had to do it ourselves. So again, I'm really excited for this. So all right, that's a high-level overview of what Plazm is. Let me go ahead and elaborate on this a little bit more. All right, go ahead, LA, if you don't mind reading this, and then I'll elaborate.
Yep. So why Plazm? Plazm is the first protocol engineered to keep a portfolio charged in every market cycle with independent external yield fueling it. Its smart contracts run on Base, ensuring speed and efficiency. And every action also feeds back into the system with a built-in mechanism that continuously burns Plazm, reducing supply and reinforcing long-term value like a self-sustaining engine.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, no matter what the current cycle is, because we're creating yield with bonds under the hood, in bear and bull markets, there is always buy and burn happening under the hood, and we don't ever have to worry about you know buy and burn being paused or going to zero because as long as the bonds are yielding, then there is buy pressure on Plazm. And one thing too, I forgot to mention, the main LP of Plazm will be Plazm eSHARE. And so when we say buy and burn, that's literally buying a Plazm off the market and burning it, which therefore also pushes the price of eShare up because we're utilizing ETH to buy Plazm through the real yield. So it's not only a buy and burn on Plazm itself, but indirectly because of the LP, we'll also buy and burn eShare. And we also have what's called a buy and build as well, which again you'll see in the documents. And that is also adding liquidity to eShare Plazm every single minute of every day. So that again, we have buy and burn and buy and build. So we're reducing the supply, creating a supply shock, and doing it in a perpetual way, and also simultaneously adding liquidity so those that want to sell have plenty of liquidity to sell into and to repeat the process. And we'll talk about that at the end, on how to actually maximize your earnings and help the protocol at the same time. So, all right, one last little bit here.
Amazing.
The big difference. Go ahead, Elliot.
Yeah, the difference. No longer are the days of depleting buy and burn or relying on others to buy at a higher price than you did. Instead, this is a perpetual current where token creation is simple, secure, and renewable. Every action feeds our treasury, generating yield through concentrated liquidity, providing on other assets, bringing the yield back to buy and burn sustainably without ever depleting reserves.
Totally. So that is the big difference that no other protocol has combined both this daily creation lobby and perpetual yield mechanism. So that's what we're really excited for, and why I think this will be a game changer. In terms of, because honestly, a lot of other protocols, Unity and Tor is a great example, which is what we're closely modeled after. Even without the real yield aspect, they've been outperforming a lot of these previous versions. So that again is really exciting to me, because now that we're adding this real yield element, it can only be more powerful. So all right, I'm not going to go through the entire white paper tonight, but I did want to go over a few more things just to get people prepared. And that is basically how to get involved. So what you're going to do is, when you first open the app, and I'll pull up a screen share of this in a minute, but I just want to go through it. So you will be given the option to either create or stake. And so what you want to do is create when prices are high for Plazm, and stake when prices are low for Plazm. And that is what we were talking about earlier, about how no matter what part of the cycle Plazm is in, there's a way to benefit both you and the platform, depending on what you do. So creating is where you take eShare or ETH to generate new Plazm tokens, and you create based on a time frame. So you can create a 1-day creation or up to a 77-day creation, and you only get your Plazm tokens at the end of whatever that those days are that you choose. So now what happens is, some people that do short-term creations, where you create in, say, a day or 2 days, the ROI will be a lot less for those. So and honestly, anything under 10 days is usually a negative ROI anyway. and that is by design for sure. So, you do have the option, but I would always suggest, and again, this isn't financial advice, and we'll do plenty of strategy talks over the coming weeks. But the best thing to do is to create in the longest possible, because that gives you the highest multiplier on your shares. So not to be confused with eShares, the whole goal of this is that you want to have as high of shares in creating Plazm as you can, because the higher your share rate, the more of the protocol you essentially own when it comes to the supply. So, and all this is really intuitive on the UI, which I'll show in a second. So when things start out, as soon as we go live, the best bet is to create. Again, if you have eShare, you can use eShare, or if you have ETH, you can use ETH. There is no advantage or disadvantage to the protocol, or to you rather. If you have eShare, use eShare. If you have fresh capital, use ETH. There is a slight advantage to the protocol if you use ETH, because again, we want to make sure that we're feeding the bonds with ETH rather than eShare. Obviously, we can't put eShare in the bonds, and we don't want to sell eShare. So any of the eShare that is used to create, that will be used for the immediate buy and burn. And then it will also reduce the circulating supply of eShare. So that's another bonus. It's not necessarily burning all that eShare, even though there is some that is burned. But it dramatically reduces the circulating supply of eShare. So again, and there is also a referral program that only applies to ETH. So if you're wanting to utilize that or take advantage of the referral, you're going to want to deposit ETH anyway. But the whole idea is that, again, this ETH goes into bonds. That is then creating yield. And every single day we have thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars that is buying Plazm off the market. And just to put that in perspective, again, about $1 million in ETH deposits would do about $5,000 a day in yield, and it goes up from there. I mean, 2 million is 10,000 a day. If we had the amount of ETH that is in the current buy and burn of Titan X, which is probably the biggest TVL of a protocol like this, that's $20 million. That would be roughly $100,000 a day in buying and burning of Plazm. So you can see that this scales tremendously. And the whole goal is that even when you create and are in profit, so say, at the end of 77 days, you have created Plazm and, you're at a 300% ROI, you can sell your Plazm and go back into the protocol. So use that ETH, even if you keep half or whatever much you want to keep, as long as we continue to mint and create and feed the buy and burn, that will automatically help your own bags, because that's more and more buying pressure on Plazm without meeting new users. So it's also really, really cool when you start thinking about the next 77 days, after cycle 2, 3, 4, there could easily be millions of dollars in the buy and burn. So that is, again, what is exciting for the future. Rather than going down, like a lot of these protocols, you have to make money in the beginning and get out. This only gets more powerful as time goes on. So, all right, and then one other thing is staking. All right, so when prices are going down, the system is also able to help stabilize itself through staking. So, and again, you'll see this on the UI. It'll literally tell you what is more profitable, to stake or to create. And so once we get to a tipping point where staking is more profitable, then all you do is literally buy Plazm off the market and stake it for, again, up from 1 day up to 77 days. And that will give you additional Plazm as a reward. So there is a 5% fee on the staked amount. So this again is how we continue to feed the buy and burn. Again, it's paid in either ETH or eShare, whatever you might have, and it's calculated on the equivalent creation cost of the stake. So again, say what you're staking is $10,000 worth. You have to have a 5% fee that is then deposited along with your stake, and that is what again contributes to the bonds, which is then the buy and burn. So once staked your Plazm that you earn, the rewards can be claimed after the chosen period. So again, just like creations, if you do a 77-day stake, you can only get your rewards at the end of that 77 days, or you can do an early penalty after half of your maturity has happened. And that's a whole section on early end stake. We won't go over that tonight, but that's another way that you can essentially end early and get paid, and then whatever is the penalty is burned. So that again is a way to reduce the supply of Plazm over time. So all right, so that again, those are the two major mechanisms. We'll go over questions here in a minute, but really those are the two big things I wanted to go over tonight that get you prepared for how to participate in Plazm. LA, is there anything else you think? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'll just add that this protocol is on Base, so you're going to need some ETH on Base for gas as well. So just keep that in mind. Get yourself set up today, tomorrow, so that you're ready whenever you want to get in.
Yeah, absolutely. And just one more thing I want to go over. If you have eShare already, let me just hang on, LA. All right, so if you already have eShare and have been part of our ecosystem and want to get onto Base, go to DexCEO.com /bridge. And then you would just choose BSC or BNB, and eShare will pop up right here. So this is how you bridge from BNB to Base if you already have eShare on BNB. Cool. All right,
and
let me.
for usual safety precautions, please pay attention to pinned posts when it comes to websites, contract addresses, all that stuff. I believe the contract addresses will also be in the docs here, but don't click on anything that anyone DMs you. Make sure you're using a hardware wallet. Like, any important information will always be pinned in our groups. Even if you think the DM is coming from AJ or I, which it won't be, don't click on anything in a DM. Click on the info in the pinned posts. Please don't get scammed. During launches, the scammers are, extra active. So please, please, please be cautious and only get your information either live from these AMAs or from pinned posts or straight from our docs, which those are pinned in our group so that you're not going to some fake docs either.
Yeah, 100% LA. And again, there will never be an early airdrop or early contract release. We will hopefully give at least a couple of hours heads up, hopefully longer if we can, on when the contracts will go live. But again, this isn't about trying to flip on launch or be there right at minute 1, second 1. This is just about actually creating the supply of the token as we go. And that, again, is really cool because we don't have to really worry about snipers or malicious actors, because the supply of Plazm is minted out over time. And again, don't get that confused with inflation. Again, even though we're minting the supply as we go, Plazm is still a fixed supply token. So that is another cool thing that we'll talk more about as we get going. But there would be a situation where you owning Plazm, that if you have a large supply of the token itself, you theoretically would never be at a loss through the buy and burn. Meaning, as long as you mint enough Plazm and hold it for the buy and burn to continually buy and burn Plazm over time, there is a situation where literally everybody in the protocol can be in profit because of the buy and burn. So that is another really cool thing. Again, that has never really been done before because of all this external yield buying and burning Plazm. You may have to hold it a little bit longer if the price goes down from where you created or staked. But over time, because it is a fixed supply, you are at the mercy of just however long you want to hold to have that buy and burn continually buy and burn token. So, and that, again, that's, a year, 2 years, 3 years in maybe, but that is really cool because, like I said earlier, it's one of the only protocols that the economic energy gets stronger with time rather than less with time. So, all right, let me pull up just the UI really quick, LA, and then we can go over questions too. Hang on here. All right, LA, are you able to see this?
Yes, it's a bit small.
All right, yeah, let me zoom in. Okay.
Yeah, like you can't really read anything on it. Yeah, there we go. That's
Well,
better.
all right. All right, here we go. All right, so again, this will all be on the UI, and some of this is subject to change, but I just want to go through it real quick. All right, so this is a very quick and dirty overview, just so you have the basics, and then we can go over all the, insider baseball and Grover. I know Grover's already putting together his Grover math. We'll have a lot of cool discussions in the socials on how to min-max, but really it's this simple. So at the very top, you see create and you see stake. So right now we're creating, and as you can see, the estimated ROI is in the hundreds of thousands of APR. So that will come down again. Don't get it confused. Like obviously, in the very early stages, that will be high, but it will come down just like any other typical farming protocol as we find a price for. And when you create your stake and or ROI, create or stake, it will probably go down over time. So be prepared for that. All of this is variable. And one of the really cool things, I forgot to mention this earlier, is that whether you're creating or staking, the supply of Plazm is coming from the same pool. And why that is so important is typically with these daily auction platforms, if you create on day one when there's not a lot of participants, then you absolutely kill it. You have a huge advantage because you are one of the first ones in and there's not a lot of competition. Well, what we fixed with Taurus and Unity, which we forked, is that creations and stakes are determined from the same pool. So what that means is as more people create or stake, you essentially spread out the share rate over everybody. And so it makes it a lot more fair and a lot less advantageous to the early people. And in fact, it may even be a higher share rate if you stake when the price goes down. So that again is a way to protect the price and protect the ecosystem and reward those that are staying involved and here for the long run. So you just don't mint and then sell and then move on. You continually create stakes or creations so you always have some supply coming out every single day. So that's what we call ladder staking or creating, where every day, if you had, say you had $100 that you wanted to go into the protocol with, maybe go in with like $2 or $3 a day for the first, whatever, 30, 40 days. So that will always have more supply coming out to you. So, all right, what else do we have here? All right, so yeah, creation, again, you can do them both eShare or ETH. You can pick down here, eShare will be the default, or ETH. You can hit that, and then the ROI will be the same. Again, it doesn't, whether it's eShare or ETH, it doesn't matter what you use to create. That will be the same. And then the whole idea is, you want to create, the longer your creations or stakes, the higher share rate you get. So when we say share rate, that's this right here. So that is what the whole idea is. You're going to play around with the numbers to get the highest Plazm shares possible. And again, it'll show you how much Plazm you're creating and how much you're earning. And then down here will be all your positions. So, and when the timer is up, you can claim that Plazm and then sell that. So again, the whole idea is that you either hold Plazm and then stake it again to get even more yield and earn a lot of supply. You can sell part of it for ETH or eShare to stack eShare or ETH, and then use part of it to go back into the protocol and create or stake again to feed the buy and burn, which then will pump your own bags over the long run. So that is the overall play, so to speak. So all right, it's really that easy. LA, was there anything else that you wanted me to go over before we get into questions, or do you feel like we did an okay job going over it? I know it can be a little overwhelming, but it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I think that was a good introduction, and then we'll see what else we want to dive into with these questions here.
Perfect. All right.
Great. Let's start with YouTube because I see a few right here. Let's start from the top. Okay, is there a benefit? Oh, sorry, the first one was, when is the Plazm launch?
Yeah, so we are hoping for this weekend. I was hoping for tomorrow, but I think we probably need at least another day, maybe two, but it won't be another week. We'll be live by the next AMA 100%. So.
Awesome. Is there a benefit to get in early due to a lower Plazm price?
Yeah, so again, that's really a good question. The short answer is not really. I mean, because it's going to be way more profitable to create rather than stake to begin with. Anyway, you really aren't getting an advantage early on based on the price of Plazm. So, again, yes, there will be people that try to flip Plazm, maybe those that have eShare, but all that is short term. I mean, again, the power of the buy and burn is what matters. I mean, you may be able to get a quick gain in the beginning, but if you actually just held the Plazm and let that buy and burn literally buy and burn thousands of dollars of Plazm every single day, that will automatically push the price of the token up. And that again is indefinite. So maybe, let me show this really quick. Bear with me here. I think this will help people see what I'm saying. All right, hang on one second here. All right, so this is what we are at Forgov. All right, hang on, sorry about that. Bear with me here. All right, so this is Taurus, and again, give credit where credit is due. Shout out to Cryptographics, the creator of Taurus and Unity. The same devs that created that are helping us create this. It just so happens they're also the original devs of Fusion. So shout out to Build the Tech, Shane and Scott. All you guys probably remember them. They're incredible devs that, if it's not our own devs, they're the only devs I trust. So they are ones behind all this. So as you can see here, and what I want to zoom in on, obviously this show doesn't look too good, right? So, but in the first few days, because of the buy and burn, and this is what happens is that, the buy and burn carries these protocols. So over the first, what is that, week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we saw the chart do nothing but up and to the right. And the reason that is that is when the most momentum was in the buy and burn, because every single day it was just buying and burning, buying and burning, buying and burning, and that pushes the price up without any new users. And so that is really powerful. Now, unfortunately, over time, as the buy and burn depletes, then the buying pressure dries up and people just sell for profit because the momentum isn't there and there's no new creations. But as you can see, though, even more recently, about a month, it's already starting to find a floor. So Taurus is right around, $1 to, now it's a down, obviously, with the market and everything, but you're still in this 50 cent to $1 range. And that is with, zero perpetual buy and burn. So the whole idea is that you're minting the supply and then you're letting that buy and burn take over. And so I think that that is really bullish for the future, based on what we see, and actually having real yield coming in, because this was paired with Titan X and not eSHARE or another asset like we have. And again, Titan X has gone down dramatically in price as well. So the fact that we are not tied to that and we have real yield supporting it, I think that we see just a gradual step up and to the right once all the short-term sellers are out, or once the buy and burn is big enough to fuel what we're doing. Again, we get $2 million in ETH deposits in the first 77 days, and that's literally $10,000 a day in buy and burn, and that will do wonders for the chart. So, all right, hopefully that helps explain a little better.
Awesome. Next question, can we transfer the shares to another wallet?
Yeah. So, are we talking about eShare? Or are we talking about the actual mints in the protocol? Maybe elaborate on that. I'll say both. Yeah, anybody can send eShares anywhere. This is a regular ERC20 token. And so when you mint Plazm, you will have the option of doing a stake, an NFT that's an encapsulated stake. And then, yes, you can send that position to anybody. So again, don't get scammed. Don't send it to somebody else. We may eventually have a marketplace where you can buy other people's stakes, which is also a cool addition. But yeah, you will be able to transfer that as a regular NFT if you want to move it around, for sure.
Awesome. What is the reason staking percentage is higher during Plazm price dropping? And what's the reason creation percentage is higher when Plazm price is higher?
Yeah, so it's basically just how the formulas work, and you can go in the docs to see it, but it's by design. So the whole idea is that when you stake, you're essentially buying Plazm off the market and locking it up. So as the price goes down, you want to be incentivized to do that, and that by doing that, it helps the price because you're staking it instead of selling it. So that is by design, and then vice versa. When the price is high, you know, you want more supply coming onto the market to help get the price down if it starts going out of control. So creating gives you a better yield because now you're actually helping the protocol by selling down the price a little bit. So yeah, and again, all that is really just based on the overall economics. None of that counts or takes into account the perpetual buy and burn. So again, it'll always be pushing the price up, which is a cool thing because creations may actually become more consistently profitable, and that is cool because that means you're feeding the buy and burn that much more. So in other words, remember in the docs, you still pay a fee to stake, but it's only 5%. And so that helps, but what really helps is all the ETH going into the buy and burn. So if we're able to consistently make creations more profitable than staking, then that is a vicious cycle. I mean, again, we could have, you know, literally millions in the buy and burn. And that's the whole point. We want to make it, the whole idea is that it is financially, win-win-win for people to create. And by doing so, we're always locking more into bonds, which then is a higher buy and burn forever. So, like, again, the system, once we get to a tipping point, the system could be insane. And, we do also have a referral program with this as well. I didn't mention that, but we are going to be getting 2% of all ETH deposits. So if you are an influencer, or even if you're not, maybe you just want to, share with your friends and family, or use it to self-refer, whatever the case may be. 2% of all ETH deposits will go right to you, and so that is really cool because we've never really had a referral program with any of our protocols, because I've been honestly against referral programs. Typically, they are inflationary, or take food out of everybody else's mouth, and I'm not okay with that. But with this, because of the real yield from bonds, the 2% is negligible when it comes to actually creating something for the long run. So we're happy to give 2% because we make that up, tenfold from the yield. So again, really excited for that, and we'll have that prior to launch. That's another reason why we're waiting a little bit, is that we want to have the referral program ready before we launch, so you can get your referral link set up and be ready to shill. So
Okay, awesome. What marketing plans do you have when Plazm goes live?
hey, there you go, perfect segue. So the referral program is going to be a big part of it. I mean, obviously, we're not relying on that, but that has been proven very effective. So that's the short answer. And then, obviously, as the protocol gets up and running, we have AMAs, we have videos, we have, we are an official build on Dragon X protocol as well. So all of you that may be involved in Titan or Dragon X, we are also having some shared LP with Dragon X on base. So the more that we buy and burn Plazm, the more that will also benefit Dragon X. And so they're also helping with us get the word out, as that's definitely their demographic for sure. And it helps their protocol. So yeah, we have some strategic partnerships and the referral program to begin with.
Awesome. Is there a power option? Did not see that on your example.
Yes, so there you go. There's somebody that is familiar with the system. So you can determine what's called power, and that just basically means the value of what you're creating. So there will be an area that you can adjust your power, or you can just do it in eSHARE ETH directly, whatever is easier for you to understand.
Awesome. Another one. When are the other LPs coming for Plazm?
Yeah, so the main and biggest LP will be eSHARE Plazm LP, and that will be created when the protocol goes live. So there will be all the eSHARE, the first amounts of eSHARE that are used to mint Plazm. That is what's added to the initial liquidity. So and again, we have some Treasury eSHARE that we'll be using as well. And then, yeah, the first few hours, all the eSHARE that's used is used to bootstrap the initial LP. So, and yeah, we're hoping to have some pretty thick liquidity. I'm hoping that, you know, within the first day, we should have around 200K of liquidity on Plazm, which will also help, you know, the pump and dump aspect of the chart. With higher liquidity, we're able to smooth things out and really let the buy and burn kick in. Again, if everybody goes into Plazm with a long-term mindset of that first 77 days and, you know, minting for maximum, we are going to have an absolute monster on our hands, because now the buy and burn can literally just eat away at all of the supply when there really isn't that much supply for the first 77 days. And, you know, we're going to see incredible ROI.
Love it. Okay, let's hop over to Discord. Where was that one I was looking for? Yes. How does the Plazm opportunity compare with bonds as far as APR and risk?
Yes, this is a killer question. So, and I love this comparison. So, the short answer is Plazm is essentially a tokenized version of bonds. So, let that sink in for a minute. So, obviously, you know, anybody can go and mint bonds right now on their own and get some incredible APR. You know, we just went over that, upwards of 160% APR on their own. And obviously that fluctuates, but the APR has been really strong. Now, there are some inherent downsides, though, with bonds. I mean, you have to be in for the long run. If you do withdraw, you do get hit with the 10% withdrawal fee. And, you know, they're not as liquid as just being able to sell a token, you know, any second of any day. So I'm excited for Plazm, because it's a way to, again, give another product to people based on what they want to see. So, you know, the short answer is there is no better option, or it's just up to each person individually. And so, you know, Plazm is great because it will essentially leverage bonds and give you a little more flexibility and speculation on the price. So if you want something a little safer and get guaranteed, you know, income coming in through the APR, then going to bonds directly is probably better. But you know, because we're utilizing the yield for bonds with Plazm and all the other sustainability additions, the ROI could be dramatically better in Plazm. We just don't know. So it's really cool, because no matter what, we do know is that it means more TVL in bonds, and that helps the backbone of our entire ecosystem. So
Amazing. Cool. Okay. Will DexCEO be the only one managing vaults for Plazm?
yeah, so both of us do. They're going directly into bonds, so it's Jake and myself. So yeah, it's not another white label. It's not, you know, a separate vault. We're minting bonds just like any of you would with the buy and burn, and we'll have all that displayed too. We'll have you know, all the metrics. That was another reason for a little bit delayed. We have a lot of cool UI updates where you'll be able to see how much is in bonds, what that equals in buy and burn every day, and, you know, how to access all those stats as well.
Amazing. Where did the 77-day figure come from?
Yeah, so again, the other protocols were 88 days. I wanted to do it a little bit shorter just so that we make sure that we are within the bull run. Even though, again, I think we are in an extended cycle. And yeah, who doesn't like your lucky 77? So yeah, all of the above.
Okay, awesome. It looks like, at least for now, we're done with the Plazm questions, but I do have one other Fusion question for you. This has been kind of a common question asked by the same user a few times. I don't think they're satisfied with our answer. So
Okay.
can you explain why we can't all of a sudden allow people to use their mENERGY to buy like microgrids or to give them that back, and how that's, you know, a potential exploit, and just why we can't all of a sudden release that
Yeah,
mENERGY?
absolutely. Yeah, so the short answer is that it is an exploit. I mean, that so what that means. So we offer a discount for those that buy mENERGY in bulk, and if you buy a lot of it, it's a substantial discount. And so if we then allowed you to buy marketplace or microgrids or anything that is translated into actual positions, then you can loop that and create a big problem. Meaning, you buy a microgrid, you get a whatever it is, 10%, 20%, 30% discount. Now you're getting a microgrid at that discount. You then sell the microgrid for eShare. You then loop that back in to more marketplace points, and before we know it, everything's at zero. So it is an exploit. And even if we got rid of the discount on mENERGY to stop that exploit, there's a ton of people that already bought mENERGY and then would be able to spend that and get an unfair discount themselves. So the short answer is just it's not designed that way. And I understand that some people are pissed that they bought a lot of mENERGY without a lot of use case. All I have to say is that to that is, I'm sorry, I get it, but the docs were very clear. If you did that without knowing, then it is still on you. But all that being said, we are absolutely working every day to add more, utility and ways to spend your mENERGY that makes sense. So I know that it sucks. I don't mean to say or sound, unsensitive. And we are always working to allow you to spend it on more things that make sense. So
Yes, and just keep in mind that that's why we were very vocal about cautioning if you were going to be buying those at the beginning, and we kind of advised against that because we didn't want anyone to get stuck in that
yeah,
position.
totally. And you can go back through all the AMAs and docs and everything. It was never a bait and switch. Just people got excited, and I get it. I mean, again, I feel bad for them, but there will be a lot more use cases. And yeah, I mean, another few months, we'll have plenty of things, different batteries. Again, we talked about trying to utilize uh, a bond battery, some different cross-chain batteries. The fact that batteries will eventually be have a lifespan on them, meaning you have to actually buy new batteries to be able to earn. All those things will be put into place when the flywheel starts going. So, and then yeah,
Yeah,
people will have no problem spending whatever they already bought in mENERGY. So.
I'm one of them that bought a power pack, but I don't mind at all because I'm a long-term thinker when it comes to fusion, and I know I'll be happy when I have that extra 200 or 300 mENERGY to buy stuff with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was by design. We had a pretty substantial discount for people, and that is you're getting rewarded for buying a larger amount. So yeah, absolutely.
All right, that looks like all of our questions for tonight.
Amazing. So yeah, I'm really, really stoked for Plazm. Again, shout out to Grover and John. We will be adding a lot of metrics to Fusion Watch as well. Those that are familiar with Titan X or Unity or Taurus know that that the metrics are a big part of it, whether it's with Dune analytics or not. We'll have something on Fusion Watch, and that will eventually show you too when people are minting, when different creations are coming to maturity. There's a lot of cool data and game theory behind all this. And again, I think it's going to be cool. I mean, we're kind of in this cycle right now where there hasn't been any cool new apps or dApps in the DeFi space. Again, it's been very player versus player, very leverage trading oriented, and I'm excited to get some fun back into DeFi. So please, please, please help us spread the word. This is really important for our ecosystem and to get people back excited about what we build. And it is absolutely sustainable. That's the cool part. Having the real yield built into a protocol like this has never been done. And the math gets really exciting when we get to a tipping point of that buy and burn. So really exciting stuff. I do see one more question before we wrap it up. How will Plazm affect eShare? So yeah, again, to your question, ultimately Plazm creates a supply shock on eShare. So whether it's people that are using eShare to mint Plazm, or maybe down the road, there's really not a lot of people using eShare to create. Instead, they're just using ETH. That means that there is always buying and burning on eShare as well, because the main LP is eShare Plazm. And so when we buy and burn and add to the liquidity, that also has the same effect on eShare itself. So that is really cool because, again, over time, that will continue to push the price of eShare and the price of Plazm up. So along with eShare being an incredibly low supply token, I mean, that is something that again is cool because we've never seen a daily creation platform like this with such a low supply secondary token. So we could see things get crazy the more that the more that the buy and burn kicks in. So all right, hopefully that answers. All right, awesome. Again, LA, I think that was it. Was there any other last minutes?
I think that's it. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. It's nice to see so many people on here tonight, so much buzz around the launch, and we're excited and we're ready to rock and roll very soon here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll go over it again on the next AMA. We'll do some more deep dives into the game theory when the protocol is actually live next Thursday or this coming Thursday. But over the weekend, just keep an eye out for our socials. Please, like I said earlier, do not get scammed. We're not going to launch early. There will never be an airdrop. If you're trying to snipe the contract address, you're going to get wrecked. So just again, the best way to be involved is to learn the ecosystem, read the docs, talk to us in the socials, and then create on day one, even if it's $10, just to get familiar with the system, and then let that buy and burn kick in. So again, minting or creating with ETH is the best way to get us jump started and trying to get the highest share percentage when you do create. That is really the as simple as it gets. So all right, awesome. Again, thank you, LA. Much love to you. Much love to all of you that joined tonight. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps the algorithm. And again, spread the word about Plazm on how this is something different. It's not just the same old, and something truly sustainable under our trusted umbrella. So, all right, we come to you every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Good night, good day. We will see you all next Thursday. Talk soon. Bye-bye.